Hello everybody, welcome to the very first 127 Airsoft equipment or gun review. I'm Aaron Adams.
Ethan Adams.
And so it's Christmas Day. We got some cool Airsoft stuff for Christmas. We're sure you got some cool Airsoft stuff for Christmas. Let us know what you got in the comment section below. But I got a new rifle, KWA Kr12. And so you might be wondering, Aaron, why did you pick that gun? Actually, I was getting back into Airsoft. Ethan had got me back into Airsoft big time. And so I really liked his rifle. He's got the Kr14. I love the way that it was made. So we've got it here kind of to do a side-by-side comparison a little bit. And so we'll kind of get into it a little bit. We won't go super in-depth, anything like that. Just kind of go over some of the basics. We shot it a little bit yesterday, shot at each other a little bit yesterday, so that was fun. And so the KWA Kr12, and so I bought it online. I actually bought it from KWA USA. Really easy purchase online. They actually shipped it the very next day. So I bought this like a week before Christmas. They shipped it the very next day, and it arrived before Christmas Day, which was really cool. And so I bought some KWA magazines with it, which are really, really awesome. They're like P-Mags, if you're familiar with the AR-15 platform. They fit really, really well in the gun. So I bought 6 of those. They actually sent me an extra magazine. One magazine comes with the gun in the box, and they sent me an extra mag, actually a high cap.
There's a Kr400, which we didn't even know they made.
Yeah, which is really cool. So I don't know if they meant to do that. If they did, it was great customer service. So there's really nothing bad that I could say about purchasing this gun online. Like I said, it's very similar to Ethan's Kr14, which was really what persuaded me to get it. I had shot Ethan's, played with Ethan, and so it was a pretty easy purchase. And so it's pretty much full metal. Like it's beefy. There's really nothing that moves around. Your buffer tube's metal, your upper and lower, the rail system, the key mod rail system is full metal. And so the first thing that I noticed when I picked this thing up out of the box is that it was sturdy. Like Ethan and I were joking yesterday that when you got yours, you felt like you could pretty much run it over, and it was still gonna shoot and be intact. And so it's really sturdy. You know, some guns you might put in the magazines or run around with them and you hear wobble. This is a gun that we feel like is really, really well made. And so it's great. It's got the rail system on top, so you could put all different sort of optics on it, whatever you want. It comes with a couple extensions, so you could put flashlights like Ethan has, or a laser, or any sort of attachment that you'd want. Comes with a rear sight and a front sight. I took off the rear sight to just put on this 4x32 scope just to kind of play around with. But both the rear sight and the front sight are really well made. There wasn't any issues with them at all. And so you've got the pullback lever here. And so that's where your hop up is, and so you kind of hold that back and you can adjust the wheel in there to adjust your hop up as needed. So what do you got to say?
Let's talk about the specs a little bit on both the KWA Kr12 and the Kr14 are about the same. I'm going to pull them up to make sure I don't get anything wrong. The overall length of the Kr14 is 37.5 inches to 40.5 inches, and that's with the stock, so it's adjustable. So you got a little playroom there. The inner barrel is 509 millimeters. The magazine capacity that it comes with, these are the K120s. They are 120 rounds. Out of the box, it's shooting, this is e-bike, so they got to give you a little wiggle room. 380 FPS to 410, measured with .2 BBs. The thread direction is 14 millimeters negative. The gearbox is a version 2 full metal, and it's fully gradable, just like most of your standard AEGs. They recommend you use a 9.6 volt battery, but I use a 11.1 LiPo in mine, and it gives you great fire rate and trigger response. The hop up is adjustable. It takes a long motor type. The firing modes are semi, full auto, and safe. We'll show you that here in a little bit, and a chrono test. What comes in the box is a gun, a magazine, and mine came with 2 rail segments. It says it comes with 1.
Mine came with 2 as well.
And obviously the manufacturer is KWA. So that's about it on the specs. I can pull up the Kr12 and read those over just to make sure there's no differences.
Yeah, so while he's doing that, just a little bit, we did a chrono test just the other day, pretty much right out of the box. Just shot .2s through it out of curiosity with the Kr12. And with .2s, we were shooting consistently at 400 FPS, if not a little bit over 400 FPS. And so it was really putting them out there. And that's with just a normal standard 9.6 volt battery. And so I haven't put the LiPo in. We put Ethan's LiPo in really quick just yesterday to see what it would do. The big difference that you can see is when you go full auto, it definitely puts more BBs downrange quicker. But that's really up to you to decide whether you want to use LiPo batteries or just the standard batteries. Either of them will do just great if you're just playing Airsoft. But if you're wanting to kind of upgrade a little bit, the LiPo battery is probably a good choice.
It's a little bit more maintenance to them. Got to make sure you decharge them and everything like that. Really, the only differences between these 2 guns are the rail length. So the Kr12 obviously has a 12-inch rail. I'd say the barrel is probably 16, 17 inches, maybe a little bit lower. The Kr14 has a 14-inch rail and probably a 20-inch barrel. It has a 6-position stock.
It's really
a 1-point sling adapter.
Really easy to adjust. However your style is, wherever you want to put it, lever right there. It's really smooth, and once you're locked in, there's really not a lot of wiggle room there. It pretty much stays there the whole time.
So that's pretty much it for the overall review. We will go a little bit more in depth with a close-up and chrono test and a little bit of shooting. Alright, first shot with .2s with 11.1 LiPo, and this is the Kr12. First shot is 403.2. Second shot is 403.1, and we'll do one more shot. 403.4, so it's pretty consistent. That's pretty good. We'll do a short burst of full auto and you can see the fire rate. So it's shooting approximately 16.6 rounds per second, which is pretty good for a completely stock gun, and it is brand new, so it's going to be worn down a little. So here we have the KWA Kr14 with a 11.1 LiPo. We're shooting 0.2 gram BBs. Now keep in mind this gun is a little bit more worn down, so it may be shooting a little bit lower than the Kr12. First shot is 350.2. Second shot 347.3, and third shot is 350.3. Still pretty consistent, but it is a little bit lower FPS because it has been worn down quite a bit and I need to change out the spring. Let's do full auto and see how fast. Right around 15 rounds per second. A couple bounced off, so we'll go around 16. The KWA Kr12, and it is a little bit shorter. In my opinion, it's a little bit more comfortable, but they're about the same gun. So let's shoot it in semi-auto and then go full auto. Here's semi-auto. Full auto. And that's it for the KWA Kr12. I'm going to be shooting the KWA Kr14 just in a third person so you can see how long the gun is. It is a pretty hefty gun. It weighs a good amount, but it adds a little bit of realism. So let's do some semi-auto first, and then we'll go full auto. Full auto. And that's it for the KWA Kr14. Alright guys, so we're going to do a little bit of in-depth on what we have on the externals of our gun, so you can see what we like to run. Again, his is new, so he doesn't have a lot on it. He just put a scope that he took off of one of his other rifles. So we're going to start with the KWA Kr14, and you'll see how I run it. On the right side, I have a Phoenix PD35. It is 1,000 lumens. It's very bright. It has 5 modes. It has strobe, blinds people. I have a iron sight that just came on another gun. Pretty cheap, but I think it adds to the look of the rifle. Just a standard foregrip. Adds my comfort. I really don't hold it like that. I hold it in front, kind of as a hand stop. I have a sling adapter, so I can run a 2-point sling. I think it's a lot more comfortable. So I also have a back iron sight, and then the scope, it's just an NC Star 3x9x40 scope, and it does well. I don't really look down the scope too often because I can walk my BBs in pretty well. The mags we both use are KWA K120 magazines, and they're great. They feed great, which is to be expected with most KWA products. It's a really good over-round company.
So like Ethan said, this is brand new, essentially right out of the box. Just received it this week. So I don't have too much on it. Like Ethan said, I put this 4x32 scope on there. It's just a cheap scope. When I'm playing, like Ethan said, I really don't sight people in. It's more for just spotting people. We did sight it in yesterday. It did do pretty well.
Yep.
Other than that, I have not added too much to it. I'll probably get a foregrip like Ethan's. I do like that for especially going around corners, things like that. Ethan uses a 2-point sling. I like to use a 1-point sling. It's got a place that comes stock right here. That works great for my sling. I can move it around my body really well. And so that's pretty much it for the Kr12 and the Kr14. We hope you guys enjoyed the review. Let us know what you'd like us to review next. We hope you had a great Christmas, and we'll see you next time.
See you.